It's a really great pleasure to have with me Crystal Stewart, the founder of Stalwart Solicitors, who specialise in family law. Now, Stewart is an aptly named firm, given that fighting your corner is one of your slogans, if you like. Fascinatingly, you have a very innovative approach to your practice, as you also offer support in the area of corporate wellness in relation to family. And more of that later. Crystal, welcome.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. It's a pleasure to be here and to have a chat with you about some of the work we're doing at Stalwart Solicitors and how we've taken an innovative approach to family law to best serve our clients.
Yeah, great to have you with me. And you specialize in family law and childcare law right from qualification about 12 years ago. And what was it that drew you to this area of practice?
Yes. So I've always been interested in law from the perspective of helping people. And when I was training to be a lawyer and I did a master specializing in family and children law, having exposure to the area led me to believe that my skills were best placed within this practice area because family law is quite diverse. You're dealing with people from all walks of life. I specialize in private family law, so all areas such as divorce, matrimonial, financial matters, cohabitation disputes, prenuptial agreements, children matters, so where children live and time spent with the other parent, as
Yes.
well as protective orders. So if someone feels at risk of harm, so domestic abuse, we can give orders to prevent the perpetrator from coming near them or living at the family.
Right. Yes. And of course, it's not just a knowledge and skill and the ability to get a great settlement which matters in family law, is it? It's the support of the individual through the very distressing time. How do you handle that?
Yes. So family law is inherently dealing with people when they're at some of their lowest points in life. Divorce can be up there with bereavement and moving houses, very stressful experiences. And therefore, to be a family lawyer, I think successfully to best serve your clients, you need to have an empathetic manner, but also be very creative. Don't necessarily think people put creativity hand in hand with family law. But
Or
I
any
think
kind of
that's
law.
really yeah, or any kind of law. But I think that's really important because actually, to get the outcomes that the clients and their families want, you need to think creatively in terms of what the outcome they're looking to achieve is and how you can use the law to best serve them and to achieve that objective. And it's really important for me and the other solicitors I work with at the firm that we adopt an approach that is client centric, but that also looks at all the possible availabilities. My overall goal is to empower clients with legal knowledge, and we do that by offering them all of their options. And then, of course, they can instruct us as to what they consider the best option, having thought about the pros and cons of each. And of course, taking our guidance in terms of what we believe is the best course of action based on what they're trying to achieve.
Yes, absolutely. And because you're dealing with people in traumatic situations every day, how do you prevent that from getting to you on a personal?
I think it's really important that you work really hard for your clients, but you also have time for yourself. So your personal life, making sure that your staff, you speak to them about how they're feeling about things. And also you mentioned, and we'll come on to this, Jonathan, about the corporate wellbeing side, that you've got to lead by example. So in terms of the staff I have on board,
Yeah, yeah.
we make sure that if anything's going on in their personal lives, that's dealt with separately from how they're dealing with the client so that they can act most productively to achieve the outcomes for the clients. But I think to answer your question, it's about working really hard when it matters for the clients, but also having downtime as well so that you have time to rest and rejuvenate. So you can do your best while you're at work while still enjoying time with your friends and family and social life, having a good social life as well. That's important. For me, I sing jazz and I enjoy live music. So
Oh,
they're things that I like doing in my free time.
yeah, very true. It's so easy in the life of a lawyer to let it be taken over by the working life. Certainly, no, that was something I learned the hard way when I was in employment law practice. But it'd actually be great to hear about how you set up your own firms. That's something we have in common. You decided to go down the entrepreneurial route as well as the legal route. Tell me about that.
So I decided to set up the firm based on me receiving comments from clients that perhaps the more traditional family law matter wasn't family law model wasn't working for them.
Oh,
So when I decided to set up the firm in 2019, it was in response to clients telling me that they found that family law wasn't very flexible and it wasn't conducive to them being able to receive legal advice as well as dealing with working commitments, childcare commitments, and those sorts of things. So one of the first things I did was think about a family law model which was more client centric.
right,
So we offer an enhanced level of flexibility that I don't think many other family law firms do. We offer our clients evening and weekend appointments on request,
right.
a complimentary 30-minute consultation prior to instruction, and as well as online appointments, face-to-face appointments where the client lives or works. So we actually hire meeting rooms in their locality to work around their working commitments and their childcare commitments. And of course, often family law clients want to attend the first meeting with a friend or family member present. So that can be facilitated more smoothly as well if you're willing to work around the client in terms of location. And
Yes.
then that's also where the innovation came in terms of the corporate wellbeing space, where my clients were telling me in matrimonial financial matters, when we look at future earning potential, they were saying, Crystal, because of the stress of these divorce proceedings, or that I haven't seen my children in a couple of years, or because of the domestic abuse I experienced, I am more stressed, I am more anxious, I am suffering from depression, and my employer doesn't seem very receptive of that. So I'm actually going on long-term sick leave, or I'm taking a sabbatical, or I'm leaving my employer, so I won't be working. There won't be good future earning potential for me for the foreseeable. And then after these proceedings have ended, then I'll perhaps consider taking up another form of employment. And that got me into thinking, clearly there is a mismatch between how employers perhaps see the value of their employees and what matters to them and how they can retain their top talent. I think corporate well-being, often employers overlook the fact that it's not just physical well-being or having mental health first aiders, but the realization that if there are difficulties in someone's personal lives, including
Yes.
family law matters, that's going to impact on the employee's productivity. It's going to mean that they're more absent. It may even mean they leave their employer if they believe they're not supportive and the culture of the company is not conducive to them being able to compartmentalize and deal with their family law matter effectively alongside working productively with that company. And that
Yes.
led me to going within the corporate wellbeing space, as you said, whereby we offer the staff 30-minute complimentary consultation and also a presentation which we deliver either in person or online that can be available at the staff's request on the internal portal, just demystifying some family myths, because I think that often that prevents a lot of people from upholding their legal rights,
Yes.
believing a lot of the things that they Google. Unfortunately, they're not all correct. There is no such thing as common law spouse and things like that. And it's
Yes.
really important that people know about their rights so that they can feel that it's actually a positive step to get some legal advice to improve their situation, really.
Have a knowledge of something which might not be an immediate issue, but maybe something will will inform their later decisions.
Yes, because I think family law is one of those areas you might not need assistance now, but
Yeah.
you might do in the future, or someone in your network, a friend or family member at some point may be touched by a family law issue. So you being empowered with that knowledge can either help yourself in your own situation currently or in the future, or those around you. And of course, we all want to help those around us, or at least be able to signpost to some solicitors that are able to assist them. And from an employer's perspective, I think as a lawyer, but also, as you said, I'm an entrepreneur. If someone came to me with this proposal, I'd be thinking it's a win because I'm empowering my staff with some knowledge and it's not at a cost to me. And thereafter, if they want to take on board our services, they get a discount on the initial services they instruct
I
us on, a
see.
10%
Yes.
discount. So from the employer's perspective, they've improved the wellbeing provision. They've shown that they care. They've shown that it's not taboo or it's not something that should be shrouded in mystery or in the shadows in terms of one's personal life, because we know that this is something that's commonplace, unfortunately. And they've retained their top talent, most importantly, by showing they've got a culture that's progressive, should we say, and open to acknowledging the different things that we all experience in life.
Yeah, I really see that. And but as I said earlier, it sounds as if it's a pretty unique program and so useful in the corporate wellbeing space. But then you've got your practice in the background to come in and give great representation if people actually do need it, and it's a discount as well. Very even better.
Yes, yes. I think it's important. I always think being a family lawyer, I really got into the area because I wanted to help people. And then I think if you're going to have your own firm, you've got to always be innovative. Think of ways that you could better serve your clients or make things easier for them so that the process is as smooth as possible, because they are sometimes telling you things they've never told anyone else. And they're at usually a very vulnerable period in their lives. So you've got to think of how can I make the experience as best as it possibly can be.
Now, there's one thing I wanted to ask you about as well. On the entrepreneurial side, what role has networking played for you in building up a practice? And do you have any particular tips related to that?
I think networking can't be overestimated. It is something that's really important if you want to grow your network, if you want to connect with other like minded professionals, but also those in complementary industries. I have found that lots of my referrals come from individual clients that I've served, and then they
Yeah.
tell people they know in their network, but then other professionals, so other lawyers that do different areas of law, or accountants or financial advisors or business coaches or other professionals whereby their clients may tell them that they may be having difficult issues in their personal lives. And then they will need to know professionals that can assist their client with those issues. And I think, to be honest with you, if you're not well connected in business, in any area of business, I think you're doing yourself a disservice, because even if you do have lots of clients, it's important in terms of your reputation, in terms of your reach, and also in terms of services. It's not about what you can get, it's what you can give. And what I mean by that is my clients tell me they need other services outside of family law, whether that be other lawyers or other business professionals or
Yeah.
services. And if I know people within my network who I trust and who I can refer them to, that's good for me, because I can then be seen as someone who can assist with areas outside of my expertise,
Yeah.
but also help them with those things, because inevitably they will help towards building up the person and ensuring that they have less issues on the back end than they did on the front end. So from my perspective, it's to be helpful to my clients first and foremost. And you
Yes.
can't be helpful
Yes.
to your client if you don't know anyone, and you don't know anyone you trust, because it's all well and good just, Googling someone and saying you can go to that person who's a financial advisor. But unless you personally know them, it's quite risky, I would argue, for you
Yes,
to then
absolutely. You
specifically
don't know if
mention
they've got a
the person.
bedside manner or anything like that.
Yeah, so I would say I do a lot of networking. I co-host my own legal event. It's called the Legal Connector for law
Yeah.
professionals or those that want to connect with law professionals, as well as I'm always interested in attending new events. I think we're very fortunate that there's lots of in-person events in London that you can attend, but also online events as well. And so there's something for everyone. And it's important, I think, to build up that rapport with fellow professionals for the benefit of your clients and for yourself as well. I think you can always learn something from other business professionals and entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. It's been a great pleasure speaking to you. And if our viewers have any queries about your family law practice or indeed the corporate wellness aspect of your family law practice, how will they get in contact with you?
But yeah, so you can contact me on our website, which is www.stalwartsolicitors.com, and you can actually book an appointment with one of the solicitors. So you won't be speaking to a receptionist or paralegal if you need some family legal advice. Again, this is something we've done to innovate that part of our
I
work.
see.
We found the pain point for clients, so they speak to a solicitor straight away. Or you can email me, crystal@stalwartsolicitors.com, or give me a call. And my number is 0345 222 0452. Or connect with me on LinkedIn and, of course, send me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Crystal, absolutely fantastic speaking with you.
Lovely speaking to you. Thank you very much, Jonathan.